Chris, yeah, we've got a bit of a situation here. My mom cut her thumb off. And I've learned over the years that people tend to exaggerate, especially in emergencies. So I ask a lot of questions. And so I asked questions, and I came up with the fact that it was just the tip of her thumb that she cut off, not the entire thumb. And I think, okay, thank goodness. It's not that bad. And by the way, when you work with herbs, things are going to sound not that bad and no big deal to you that will sound like a big deal to everybody else because they don't know how to handle it, and now you do. So this is a great place to be in. Looking at something that someone else thinks, oh, this is a serious situation, and say, oh, please, that's no big deal. I can handle that in 3 seconds. It's just a great place to be in. So I asked him, does she have the cayenne that I brought over a few weeks ago? Does she still have it? And he says, Mom, do you still have it? Yeah, she still has it. And so I said, well, just tell her to pour about half of it, it was a small container, into the palm of her other hand, and then just bury the cut end of the thumb in the cayenne mound in her other palm. And then I said, I'll grab my first aid kit and be right over and see if there's any more help that I can help you with. And I grabbed my first aid kit and went over, and when I got over there, the bleeding was stopped and had been stopped for a while, and I said, of course she had done exactly what I told her to, and I said, well, how long has the bleeding been stopped? Now, they live about 5 minutes away, and it couldn't have taken me more than a minute to grab my first aid kit, a minute or two, and get in the car. But when I got over there, I said, how long did the bleeding stop? Has the bleeding been stopped? And she said, it's been stopped for about 5 minutes. And then she said, but it took me a couple of minutes to work up the courage to actually do it. So, in other words, it took 0 time to actually stop the bleeding. And I asked her, I wanted to make sure, I said, how quick was it once you put it on? How fast did the bleeding stop? She said, oh, it was on and the bleeding was stopped. There was no time between when I applied the cayenne and when the bleeding stopped. It was stopped instantly. And that's what I normally see. And long story short, her thumb healed with 0 scarring. At first there was a little bit of a flat part on that side. I don't know if you can really see this very well, but it kind of flattened on that side of the thumb. And after a couple of months that filled out, and now the feeling came back, which means the nerves grew back, and that's something that medicine says doesn't happen, or without extreme difficulty in time. But the nerves grew back in a couple of months. The shape of her thumb filled back out. The color is normal. There is no visible scar tissue. She shows you her thumb today. She'll do this and say, guess which one it was, and no one can guess. You can't tell a difference at all. It is the same as the other thumb now, or the same as it normally is, I should say, but it's the same as a normal thumb. And it was, very easy, no big deal kind of a thing, and most people would have gone to the emergency room and ended up with a great big scar and probably 6 months of healing time and been on antibiotics and painkillers and big to-do, and for her, there was no pain, no need for antibiotics, no need for any disinfectants. The cayenne took care of it. So that is the potential of herbs in first aid situations, or that's even one of my least impressive stories. I did have one boy at a kind of a children's summer day